Hey church, I'm going to tell you a quick fact about myself, and I hope this doesn't cause you to judge me too much. Here's the fact. I was 21 years old when I had my first full salad. There you go. I was at a friend's restaurant that he was working at, and it was a very fancy restaurant, and he invited me and some other friends to come, and they served us this like full course meal, and it was all free. And they brought out this Caesar salad to eat, and I felt like, for the first time in my life, I thought it would be rude to turn down this salad, and so I ate it. Now, you may be wondering, why were you 21 years old before you had a salad? And it was this. I was, like very many kids, a really picky eater. And my parents, however, when I refused to eat my vegetables, didn't decide to force me. They just said, all right, and skipped it altogether. So basically, as a child and through my teenage years, I lived solely on meat and carbs. That was it. No vegetables, very little fruit. It wasn't until I was 21 before I had a salad. I'm sorry if that makes you think less of me. However, in my mind, as a 21-year-old, I sort of decided that this was a very biblical thing to do. You look, vegetables don't get a very good rap in the Bible, right? In Daniel, when Daniel gets taken away as an exile, a captive to Babylon, and he is there, the government is trying to force feed him all this food to sort of indoctrinate him into Babylonian culture. Daniel refuses, and he only eats vegetables, and all the other people mock him, and they think, well, this guy can't clearly measure up if he's only eating vegetables. Turns out they're wrong. Anyway, vegetables don't get a good rap. In the book of Romans, Paul is talking about meat that's sacrificed to idols and the struggle that caused in the church community. And so he says there are people who have weaker faith who will only eat vegetables. And again, I thought, well, see, I am sort of justified by only eating meat and not eating a salad. It's a biblical thing. The reason why I mentioned all of this is our proverb this morning is from Proverbs chapter 15, verse 17. And it says this: better is a little portion of vegetables with love than to eat fattened ox with hatred. It's better to eat vegetables with love than it is to eat a fattened calf or ox or meat, choice meat, with hatred. And what's this all about? Well, obviously that same sort of view of vegetables is there, right? That it's actually meat is better for you. In this context, meat is sort of a luxury in ancient culture. If you have a fattened calf or ox or whatever, right? That's a sign of privilege. It's a sign of being able to eat well, to eat in luxury. And so and it's a sign that you are rich and that seemingly God has blessed you if you're able to eat like that. But if you're someone who's only able to eat vegetables or herbs or whatever, it means that you're probably someone who's not well off. You're poor, life hasn't been kind to you, and etc., right? And so it has this connotation that, well, it's better to eat meat than it is to eat vegetables again. But here the context is saying, well, it's actually, vegetables are actually better for you, because it's better if you have little or less or something that maybe people think of as not as great for you for whatever reason, but you have that with a heart that's full of love, a heart that is overflowing with compassion and generosity, and the people that you surround yourself with and the way that you compose yourself is someone who is just constantly full of kindness and love for others. It's better that if you have very little, you're only eating vegetables, if you are one of those people, rather than you have everything that every sort of rich person could afford. You have all the luxury surrounding you, and yet you have a heart that's full of anger and strife and envy. It makes this really stark contrast to say, well, actually, when you think of vegetables, if you have this heart of generosity, vegetables are actually better for you in the long run. But the thing is, many of us don't think that way. We think, well, I'd rather have lots of stuff, to have every one of my sort of desires met, but be a person that's not full of love and kindness and generosity, that we can be sort of just, as long as we have whatever we want, who cares about the condition of our heart? But our wisdom for today says, actually, the condition of your heart is the more important thing. So even if you have nothing, or even if you're someone who's a vegetarian or vegan and only eats vegetables, it's actually better for you. So the challenge for myself is that I'm going to strive to be someone that, no matter what I eat, and I probably should eat vegetables more often, that I will be someone who is nurturing a heart of love and generosity, rather than someone who wants to try to have everything in the world and yet my heart is darkened. So let's be people who eat our vegetables full of love. See you later.